What's up guys, hope you're having a good day. In this video we're going to be looking back at our profit and loss throughout the month of June. We're going to be going through every single type of bet on our website to look at our performance, look at what we did good, what we didn't do so good, and if there's anything that we can improve upon. What I will say though, obviously we do these kind of performance reviews, these profit and loss analysis videos every week after every UFC event. So I won't be going into tons of detail about each of the individual bets that we had throughout the month of June in this video, because obviously we've already covered our bets during the weekly profit and loss review videos. So if there is any bet that you're interested in, finding out my opinions on after the fact, whether I regretted it, whether I doubled down, whether I should have bet even more, then go on YouTube, find the other performance review videos from previous events, and you'll find exactly what you need there, because we go into every winning and losing bet in a decent amount of detail. But this video is going to be more of like a top line video where we just look at how June went, and so it'll probably be shorter than the others. Also want to remind you guys, this Friday night we're doing a UFC Topps Chrome 2019 box break where we open 3 hobby boxes of UFC Topps Chrome 2019 trading cards. We're going to do it Friday night before UFC 264, get a party atmosphere going. Big shout out to everyone that bought a pack in that box break. It's an amazing set. It is my favourite UFC trading card set out of all the modern sets by a mile, and I'm sure we're going to pull some amazing stuff this Friday night. I can't wait. And of course the packs for the box break after that, remember we do a box break the night before every big UFC pay-per-view card. Packs are already on sale for the pay-per-view after that, which is UFC 265. It was Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena as the main event. That fight has now been moved to the co-main, and of course Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane is the new main event for that card. There are still 3 packs available for sale. I'm pretty sure that they will sell out very, very soon. So if you want them, grab them while they're hot. I can't see them sticking around for much longer, and that goes down August 6th. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at our performance from this month, and we will see how we did. So let's kick things off by taking a look at the pre-fight bets. So we'll start off with the most popular type of bet on the website, and we will take a look at the loose bets. So loose bets are obviously, pre-fight bets, your standard bets, where we identify a clear and obvious advantage for a fighter over their opponent, or a fighter that may not have the best chance of winning but does present us with a very good risk to reward ratio in terms of maybe an underdog that has a great path to victory, but it may still be a tough fight for them. But of course, if the odds give us a good risk to reward ratio, we may take a little bit of a gamble on them. So that's what loose bets are. And of course, over the last 18 months since we started tracking these loose bets, they've been performing really, really well. We can see that we've managed to grind out around 43 units of profit, in the last sort of 18 months. You can see there from January 2020 to June 2021. So these bets are performing phenomenally well, and they performed extremely well in the month of June. So we can see that we banked around approximately just around 4 units of profit on these loose bets, which is a great return for the month. Very, very happy with that. And let's take a look at some of the bets that we had. So the first event in June was the Rosenstrike versus Sakai Fight Night card. So we'll go back and take a look at the bets from then onward. So this was a little bit of a strange month for loose bets, where the first 2 events in the month were very, very good for betting. They gave us a really good amount of strong positions for us to put our money. But then the second 2 events in the month weren't great for betting, and I found that we had to keep it tight. There weren't too many strong positions for us to put our cash. We did kick the month off with a very nice big winner on Montana De La Rosa to beat Ariane Lipski. I felt these odds were super generous. I felt that De La Rosa was virtually free money against Lipski, and of course she came through for us in a big way. The odds did decline quite a bit after we locked in a bet on De La Rosa. We were able to get in nice and early on her and bank a very solid profit. We also had I said that I wouldn't go into these bets in too much detail, so I'll whiz through them as fast as we can. But as you can see, with the De La Rosa bet and these 4 bets, we had 5 loose bets for the Rosenstrike versus Sakai card. We had Gregory Rodriguez to beat Todorovic, Ponzinibbio to beat Miguel Beza, Marcin Tybura to beat Walt Harris, and Roman Dolidze to beat Laureano Staropoli to beat Roman Dolidze. So we went 4-1 on the loose bets for the Rosenstrike Sakai card for a very, very healthy profit. We continued that profitability into the next card. It was UFC 263 Adesanya versus Vittori, where we took Carlos Felipe to beat Jake Collier, Brandon Moreno to beat Davison Figueiredo, and Drew Dober to beat Brad Riddell. We went 2-1 on that event for around about 1 unit of profit to keep that money train going throughout the month of June. We then hit a little bit of a bump in the road. That UFC Fight Night Dan Ige versus Korean Zombie card was an extremely difficult card for betting. You could see here we had 5 bets for the Rosenstrike versus Sakai card, 3 bets for the UFC 263 card, but I could only dig up 1 fighter that I felt comfortable risking money on this card, and unfortunately it was a losing bet. We bet Dan Ige, and he got totally outclassed by Korean Zombie, to be honest with you. Then for the final card of the month, UFC Fight Night, Gain versus Volkov. Another very, very difficult fight. Another very difficult card for betting. But we did make a profit on this. We had 2 bets. We took Kennedy and Chucku to beat Danilo Marquez. He came through for us in a big way. And then we got a little bit creative with the next one, and we bet on Andre Fili to beat Daniel Pineda and Italy to beat Austria, a 2-leg parlay accumulator. Now we got really, really unlucky with this one. The first obvious part of the bad luck on this fight was that Andre Fili was absolutely dominating Daniel Pineda, looking very, very comfortable. And of course, due to some unfortunate circumstances with Andre Fili accidentally eye-poking Pineda in the eye, that fight ended in a no contest. But what was even more frustrating about this bet was that we bet on Italy to beat Austria in the European Championships, and I was very, very disappointed that Italy weren't able to get this win for us in normal time in 90 minutes, which they needed to in order for this bet to cash. Of course, Italy did qualify, but they waited until extra time to do it. So this was a really, really frustrating loss because, from my perspective, Italy have been by far the best team in the Euros so far. I feel they're head and shoulders above every other team in the European Championships. They've dominated pretty much every team that they've played, including Belgium, who are obviously much stronger than Austria, much better than Austria all over the pitch, much better defensively than Austria. And yet, after 90 minutes, Italy and Austria was a 0-0 scoreline, which crushed this bet. And then what was even more frustrating about this bet is as soon as extra time started, Italy scored 2 goals right at the beginning of extra time. So had they done that in the 90 minutes, this bet would have been a winner and given us an even bigger profit this month. But at the end of the day, bad luck is a part of betting in general. You got to get used to it. And at the end of the day, our mantra of consistently putting our money in strong positions over a long period of time is what enables us to consistently generate these kind of profits. Pretty much every type of bet that you're going to find on the website is profitable, and this is a beautiful profitability chart. 4 units of profit on loose bets in the month of June. I'm very, very happy with that. If you said to me right now, you can make 4 units of profit from betting for the rest of your life, no more, no less, would you take it? I'd be like, sign me the fuck up. 4 units, very, very solid result. And hopefully, with another 4 UFC events now in July, we can build on this. And I would really, really like a push towards, 50 units of profit. I would really like to maybe just break through that or get very, very close. We're 7 units away from it now. 50 units would be a really nice big round number to break through, and so I'm going to be working really, really hard this month to try and give us the best shot possible of smashing through that 50 unit profitability mark, which would be a great return over the last 18 months. Then let's go take a look at the tight bets. So tight bets performed well. Tight bets by their very nature are bets where we identify a really, really, really strong position to put our cash, a bet that has a very high probability of winning. But of course, because we only, look to lock in bets in the tight bet category of bet has a super high probability of winning, we don't tend to find type bets that often, and we only had one in the month of June. It was Montana De La Rosa. She did come through for us in a big way, as we mentioned earlier on. They give us 1.59 units of profit for type bets in the month of June. But like I always say, I don't like you guys to double dip. If I have recommended a bet in loose bets, I don't want you to double dip. This is purely for kind of like tracking performance in a certain category of bet. So if ever you see, we've got it here, only place one of the bets. If the same bet is listed in the loose and type bets database, do not double up on bets. So what I'm trying to say is, if you see a 3-unit bet on De La Rosa in loose bets and a 3-unit bet in type bets, only bet 3 units, don't bet 6. I'm including her into the type bets database to track our profitability over the long term on bets that we're ultra confident in. So a really, really good month on loose bets. 4 units of profit there, more than happy. And yeah, man, absolutely chuffed with our level of performance. We did really, really well. Now let's take a look at our live bet performance. So currently in the process of rebuilding our results page, so apologies for kind of like the messy layout and stuff. You can see that very much rebuilding stuff at the moment. But live betting, usually in all our videos, live betting is one. I haven't actually updated the profitability chart. I do apologize. I've completely forgot to do that. Completely forgot to do that. Sorry. It's because Hilty, you guys probably see Hilty in the community. He's been one of my members for a really, really long time. Hilty updates all these profitability charts for me, but haven't set up his access yet to update the live betting chart, because the live betting chart was basically built before Hilty was even a member, so he hasn't actually got access to it. I need to fix that so he can update this profitability chart for us. So unfortunately, I haven't updated the profitability chart for June, so we will just calculate it manually. So if we go to the live betting results by event, we can see that, okay, if we made 2.34 units of profit on Vittori, 0.62 units of profit on Gan versus Volkov equals 2.96. Take away 4 units. So we made a loss of around a unit in live betting, which is something that we don't do very often. You can see if you look at our live betting profitability chart, nothing but slow, steady, consistent gains over a very, very long period of time. Live betting is obviously the most profitable type of bet that we have on the website. And if you are a part of our live betting group, you'll know how profitable they are. And yeah, it's not very often that we have to talk about a loss in live betting. But yeah, we suffered a loss in June. That's the way it goes. Hopefully we can bounce back in July. Obviously, it's horrible to go from a big win to a loss. We made 10 units of profit. Around 10 units of profit in May. Unit loss in June is nothing really. But it was a messy month for live betting. Don't get me wrong. Very, very messy. Obviously, the profit and loss in live betting is always approximate, because odds are constantly changing. Odds are constantly being suspended. Every betting website is different. You can get betting on some sites, can't get betting on others. People all across the world have access to different sites, different liquidity, different max bet limits, different odds. It's all chaos. So these profit and losses are always an approximate number, but just disappointing to take our first loss in a while in live betting. When was the last time we had a losing month? Wow. So the last time we had a losing month was July 2020. Wow. So it's been almost a year since we had a losing month on live betting, which is kind of crazy. So I guess we're due a losing month eventually. First time we've had a loss in a year. Hopefully it'll be another year before we take another loss. But obviously live betting, big cash cow for us. And I'm sure with how often we grind out a profit in live betting, we'll bounce back with a strong win this weekend at UFC 264, and hopefully bounce back with a strong win in July. Now let's take a look at the prop bets. So the prop bets are the one of only 2 types of bets on the website that I don't really like very much, and I would kind of recommend most people don't tail these bets. The main event picks are a category of bet that we're going to be talking about shortly, which I also don't recommend you tail. And really it all comes down to, what type of gambler you are, what your goals are from betting on MMA, and just understanding that prop bets come with a lot of variance, right? You look at this profitability chart. It is very, very ugly. It is a chart that only a mother could love. It's up and it's down. It's up and it's down. It's up and it's down. Of course, they are profitable over, the last 2.5 years that we've been tracking these bets. But for me personally, I like to grow my money in my betting accounts using compound interest-based betting strategies. And of course, in order to maximize the effectiveness of compound interest, you need to maintain a high win rate, which we do. Our win rate on live betting is insanely high. Our win rate on loose bets and tight bets is pretty good as well. And our win rate on over-under bets, I think, is actually our top performing kind of bet at the moment, which we'll get into in a moment. The problem with the prop bets is, even though technically they are profitable over the last 2.5 years, because a high percentage of these bets lose, it really slows down your compounded growth and your ability to take advantage of compound interest to quickly grow your money. If you look at props, the whole kind of strategy behind prop bets is to try and capitalize on the chaos within MMA, right? So we know that MMA is a chaotic sport where a lot of crazy stuff happens, and it's very, very difficult to make money just predicting which fighter is going to win an MMA fight. So when you throw method of victory into the mix, it becomes even more difficult. So the theory behind making money from props is you're trying to bet on the unpredictable aspect of the sport. So with props, you're often not betting on the most likely outcome. You're betting on the props which give you the best risk to reward ratio, which means you're not winning many bets, but the bets that you are winning are giving you a very good return. So we can see here, we hit a winner here and a winner here for around 11-ish units of profit, but only 2 bets out of 10 won here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across these 10 bets, we actually made a 4-unit profit, but the win rate is horrendous. And the problem with props is, even if you are grinding out a profit, a lot of the time, the opportunity cost of your win rate, not being particularly good, can cost you a lot more money through slowing down the gains you can make through compounded growth. But prop bets were down around 4 units in June, which isn't bad. Like I say, swings on prop bets are absolutely huge. Down around 4 units, not too bad, but like I say, be very, very careful with props. They're the only type of bet that I have on my website which carries a disclaimer, because personally I'm not a fan of them at all, and full disclosure, I rarely even bet these props myself. So let's now get into the lab bets, and we can take a look at how the lab bets performed this month. So starting off with our highly profitable over-under bets. A minute ago we were talking about how I can't actually fit it all in on the screen, but these are our over-under bets. A minute ago we were talking about how the prop bets is a chart that only a mother could love. Well, anyone can love a chart that looks like this. Look at this profitability. Our win rate is absolutely insane on prop bets. They're performing so well. They're an absolute cash cow for us. A very safe and strong place for us to put our money. And almost every week we seem to grind out a profit on these props. We very, very rarely make a loss. Over the last 18 months, we've made a profit of around 27 units of profit, on these over-unders, which is extremely good when you take into account that the sample size is still relatively small. If we can keep this level of profitability up, we're going to be making a hell of a lot of money in the future off these over-unders. We were saying when we first started the lab that hopefully we can dig up some kinds of experimental bets which will match the win rate that we hit in live betting, because we have a very, very high win rate in live betting. And I think the over-under bets have actually even surpassed that now. They're performing ridiculously well. And as you can see, in the month of June, we banked approximately 4 units of profit. Just under 4 units of profit on the over-unders in June, which is a brilliant return. And the bets that we had, so we had 3 over-unders for the month of June. We had Ariane Lipski, Montana De La Rosa, fight doesn't go to a decision. That one turned out to be a very easy winner, De La Rosa getting the finish in round 2. Then we had Marcin Tybura versus Walt Harris. Fight doesn't go to a decision. Odds of 1.67. Again, that was an easy winner. The fight ended in round 1. And we got really, really unlucky with this one. This bet was obviously void because the fight ended in a no contest, which means should have got a refund on this bet. If you didn't get a refund, go chase up your betting site or bookie and get a refund from them. But obviously we bet on Andre Fili, Daniel Pineda. Fight doesn't go to a decision. It was on course for ending inside the distance with Andre Fili scoring multiple knockdowns and inflicting major damage on Daniel Pineda. Felt like in that second round the finish was very, very close to coming to fruition. But then obviously the eye poke led the fight to be stopped and ruled a no contest. So we were very, very close to going 3-0 on over-unders in the month of June, but I'll take 2-0 and a very, very solid return of, just under 4 units. So over-unders, absolutely crushing it. And I'm really, really hoping we can dig up some more over-unders this weekend for UFC 264 to keep this profit train chewing. Now let's review our even money bets. So of course our even money bets are those kind of bets where I pick a winner in every single fight that contains fighters in the odds range of between 1.65 and 2.30, right? It's that even money odds range, with the theory being that irrespective of whatever mathematical edge the betting sites may have, due to all the years of experience that I've got, all my knowledge of the sport, all the fight research that I do, and my ability to effectively, make money betting on MMA, based on all this, I can outperform any edge that the bookie has. And of course, over the 18 months, we've proven that we can outperform the bookies in that even money odds range by banking 21.5 units of profit. It was a virtually break-even month for us, but I do think that we suffered a bad beat this month on one of the even money bets, which would have nudged us into profit. Where is he? Yeah, we bet on Roque Martinez to beat Josh Parisian at underdog odds, which was a 2-unit swing for us. If we take a look at the decisions or the media scores on that fight, where is it? If we take a look at the media scores, we can see that if it loads, we can see that the vast majority of people in the MMA media scored that fight for Martinez. So that was a 2-unit swing for us, a 2.15 unit swing. Had the judges got that fight correct, we'd be up around 2.5 units on even money bets this month. So very, very disappointing. Break even, not the end of the world, but pretty much a non-event. Of course, we had tons of even money bets this month, though. Absolutely loads. Jesus, going back 3 pages, how many did we have? About 20 even money bets. So after 20 bets to end up roughly back at break even's kind of crazy. But, like I say, if the judges would have got that Roque Martinez decision correct, we would have been up about 2.5 units. So a little bit disappointing. Then the final bet that we need to discuss in this video is a very, very similar betting experiment to the even money bets. Of course, it is the main event picks experiment, and it is actually the only lab experiment that is currently performing at a loss. It's not performing very well. Over the last 18 months, we're down about 13 units on this experiment, and it basically, this experiment follows the same logic as the even money bet experiment, where my theory being, because I put so much fight research into so much time into every fight researching it, because I've gambled on this sport for so long and I've built up a lot of knowledge in this sport, my theory is, if I'm forced to pick a winner in every single main event fight, hopefully over the long term, I can produce a profit. And on top of that, my other theory being that the athletes that work their way into, the position of being able to main event fight night cards or pay-per-views, you'd think are the highest level athletes in the sport and therefore are a lot more consistent, which should then, in theory make their fights, main event fights more predictable. That hasn't been the case. Over the last 18 months, we're down 13 units, which, even though this chart looks very ugly, is not a huge loss, to be fair. And because the sample size is pretty small at only 76 bets, I am going to persist with this experiment and hope that over the long term I can turn it round. But of course, at the moment, this one is not performing well at all. And because it's not performing well, I would kind of recommend that until we do turn this round and until this type of bet does become profitable, I would recommend that you don't tail these bets. But of course, every week I do still put my main event bet into the database here. We can see that my pick for this weekend, UFC 264, we're going with Dustin Poirier. And when my breakdown video drops on YouTube, you'll be able to find out the reasons why I feel that way. And of course, there's already a breakdown video for that fight on my website, which is about an hour long. So if you are interested in getting a really detailed, top level, really detailed insight into how I feel Poirier and McGregor match up with each other, check out my website, MMABettingTips.com. If you're not a member already, I'm assuming if you're watching this, but many of you will be members watching this. But if you're not, sign up, give it a try. I think you're gonna like it. At the end of the day, every single type of bet on this website is profitable, apart from the main event picks. So it goes without saying, chances are your membership's just going to pay for itself anyway. And our profitability is getting better and better. We're looking to add new types of bets to the site all the time, and you get a lot of bang for your buck, man. If you like betting on MMA, if you don't have time to do the proper research yourself, because who the fuck does? It takes me 20-30 hours a week to research these fights. You ain't got time to do that if you've got a busy job, a busy life, if you've got kids, a family. And not only that, there's a bunch of other more fun things to do, that you could be spending your time doing. So check it out, MMABettingTips.com, link in the description below. That's it for this performance review video. June was a pretty good month for us, with the over-unders, even money bets, and the loose bets, which are kind of like our three main pre-fight bets. We banked over 8 units of profit in June on those, which were absolutely brilliant. Prop bets didn't perform well. Wouldn't really recommend you bet those anyway. Main event picks didn't perform well. I wouldn't recommend you bet those anyway either. And live bets, we actually took our first losing month in a year, which is kind of insane. Hopefully, it's going to be another year before we take another loss in live betting. I will work really hard to get us back on track in July and hopefully punch the bookies in the dick, bank a massive profit in the month of July. With that being said, guys, pre-fight bets are going amazing. Hopefully we can keep it up, and hopefully you'll join me in the fight research sessions that we're going to be doing throughout the month of July to hopefully be able to keep this money train going. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, have a great week, and hopefully I'll see you either in the live betting group on Saturday night or in the box break live stream for UFC Top Chrome 2019 on Friday. Have a great week, guys. Love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.